Hello everybody, welcome back to Two-Page Tuesday. Today I am going to be scrapbooking these photos from my nephew's graduation. My last layout, two-page layout, was of that graduation, and this one will be as well, just because there are so many photos that I want to get scrapbooked from this occasion. So I am going to do another one of those pages where I don't use the exact same background page, which I think is good because if you buy paper like I do, oftentimes I don't have two pieces of the same paper. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to use the second piece of paper at the same and make that the same, because that will help get the continuity across the layout here. So that aqua colored paper that the photographs are being mounted on right now is from L Studio Thankful. It's called the Fun Times paper. And then the piece that it's laying on, that diamond pattern piece, it's kind of like an iCat pattern, is from L Studio Thankful. It's called Sweater. And then the piece on the left, which is the background piece with all the words on it, is also from L Studio. It's from the Thankful collection, and it's called Family. And I thought that was really appropriate because these are all photos of my nephew and at least part of his family. My sister and brother-in-law are there, my mom, who's his grandma, is there, and then his fiance, now his wife by this time, by the time we're in now, anyway, is his wife. They're all there, so that is part of his family. And I just thought that it was cool that all of those words were on there because they say things like, we are family, count our blessing, my heart is full, traditions, fun times together, love, all those kinds of really nice words, counting our blessings, happy moments. So that's what I'm doing for that. So that's why I really wanted to use that one piece of paper, and I didn't have two. So I thought, well, how am I going to use that? And it was dark. The other thing that's really interesting for the way my process tends to run is I'm using a really light sheet as a background there. I don't normally do that. So that was kind of a nice little stretch as well. What I decided to do is put 3 photographs on the right page kind of as the supporting photographs, and then 1 photograph on the left page with everybody who is there in it. And because it's a fairly small 4x4 photo, I needed to figure out a way to make that photo more important. So in this particular case, what I decided to do was put a doily underneath that photo. So I've now cut the papers, and at least the background layer and then the layer, the next layer, and figured that out, how that's going to look. But one of the things I'm discovering is that everybody else kind of blends in with the whole blue theme here. They at least have a little bit of blue on, except for my mom. I think she was wearing red and black. She might have navy stripes on, but that red is really, really standing out. And especially with the photograph to the right with my nephew and my mom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of red paper from a Die Cuts with a View paper stack called the Nantucket stack. It's something that I bought around the 4th of July last year at Tuesday Morning. And I'm going to put that underneath the main photograph there to sort of draw your attention to it. Then the other thing I'm doing is I have this word, acrylic word from L Studio. It says family, and they sell these on their website. I have that, and I really wanted to get that onto this layout because this layout is kind of all about the family piece. That, however, is not going to be my title. So anyway, I have that on there. I also, the doily, and I don't remember if yeah, that is the doily I used, because I went through a couple different doilies, and I probably did that even before I started talking. That doily is from Recollections, and it's the 6.5-inch doily from Michaels. So you can see how nicely that works with that. I found a little L Studio die cut that says My Favorite People. It's actually not a die cut, sorry, it's a cut apart from the L Studio Thankful Collection cut aparts. And I just like that that's underneath it. And that is actually going to become the title of my layout. I originally was not going to do that, but that's what I'm going to end up doing. And my poor sister, there's a photograph on the right of her, and she has her eyes closed. We have a joke in my family about how we like to close our eyes. But it's the only photo I have of the three of them together. So I really wanted to include that, even though it's not a great photo of her. So sorry, my sister. Now, I was just going through some pieces from Bella Boulevard, and I found that circle with a heart on it that says "Love It," and it's got a little bit of red in it. It's from the Oh My Stars collection from the paper pieces. And what I'm trying to do here is scatter just a little bit of red around the layout to help neutralize the red in my mom's outfit there. I then found that little it's the tab on my list here. It says heart banner cut apart. So anyway, it says tab, and that tab is from Bella Boulevard Oh My Stars, the Tabbies collection there. So again, just trying to use a few things here and there that have red to them, because that will help scatter it across the layout. So the little bit of touches of red will help neutralize what my mom is wearing. One more thing that I want to talk about that's not layout related today is that this will be my last official 2-page Tuesday in the series. I will keep doing the 2-page layouts and posting them to my 2-page Pinterest board, and also I'll probably try to do them on Tuesdays, and maybe I'll try to commit to doing 1 2-page layout a month, because I still do definitely have 2 pages to do, but it's not something that I want to have to commit to every week right now. I have a lot of photos that I can get on single pages, and so that's what I like to do, because I tend to take a photograph, like 1 photograph or 2 or maybe 3 photographs to represent an event. And it's more like a representation, because that represents the story to me. So I tell the story in the journaling, but there's a photograph to represent what was happening as well. So I'm finding that I'm not spending as much time documenting those kinds of stories because I'm focused on the 2-page thing. But as I said, I will continue to do them for you, and I'll try to post them on Tuesday so that you'll continue to see them for me. And maybe I'll do another month at some point this week where I do 2-page layouts on a Tuesday, but I just need a little bit of a break from having to do it every week. However, I have found that it's been really fun, and it's been a real stretch. Also with 2-page Tuesday, this is the first layout that I've done for this series where I didn't use a sketch to do it. I went out on my own and designed my own page. So I was really excited about the fact that I did that, because if you're 1-page scrapper, doing a 2-page layout can be a little bit scary. Not actually scary, but you know what I mean there. So back to the layout, I do have that arrow on there, but I'm going to eventually take that off. It's not working well for me. And then I did find that heart banner there from Elle's Studio, and that is from the Thankful Cutouts as well too. And I'll change that and put it on. I'm looking for more red. That's what I'm looking for at the moment, and I'm going to find it in just a minute. And it's what I'm cutting out now. So I am cutting out it says snapshot notes on it, and I'm cutting that piece out from the Elle Studio Everyday Moments cutouts. I find they make great little banners and pieces to do like this, to add to the photos. Now that banner, I'm going to actually put it on the photo, and I have it up on the photo like that, the heart banner, just because I'm going to shorten that up. It was too long. So there's not anything really important in the background, and now that I look at it, it kind of does look like it's pointing to that group of people, which it's not, but that is what it is. So now what I'm doing is I'm just lining my photos up on the edge of the paper there to get them situated, because once that happens, then I can start putting down all my little embellishments. And really, I don't have that many embellishments on this page, just because there's so much going on with the photographs, and I really wanted to get the family layout, or the family idea behind out in this layout. That's one of the things that I really wanted to happen here. The other thing that I thought was really unusual is, I said I didn't use a sketch this time. When I looked at my time for this layout, my layout was 31 minutes total, which that's crazy fast for me. Normally, my normal layouts are about 40 minutes or so. So the fact that I was able to do a 2-page layout in 31 minutes is pretty cool. So maybe part of that is that I didn't use a sketch, so I wasn't worried about what I was following or not, which is kind of a good lesson to myself, is that, if I go out, on my own I can do that, and it doesn't really take as long as I think it's going to do. And I really love the way this layout looks in the end. The one thing I could have done as I'm looking at this is maybe instead of bringing those photos on the right page all the way to the left edge there, I could have brought them in a little bit, and I think it would have given this more breathing space. I don't know. It looks like something from, to my eye at least, that there should be something on the left-hand page there, but it's okay. It's fine. The other thing too is right now it's not sitting in my 3-ring binder, and maybe one that goes in my 3-ring binder that will be different because there will actually be space between the two. So just a little observation there if you're thinking about doing something like this layout. Maybe I'll have to make another one. This occasion took place in May of 2016. So if I scrap anything now with photos, they would be pretty far apart. And as a matter of fact, even in different years. And there's nothing wrong with scrap lifting yourself. I think it's actually a great idea. So I'm just going in and gluing down. I didn't have that one photograph glued down because I'd lined the other two up, and just wanted to get that in and finished there. Now at this point, I was still thinking a little bit about putting some sort of title on here underneath the heart doily, which I probably could have done pretty easily if I had moved that doily up. But the more I looked at it, the more I really felt like it was complete the way it was. I thought there was a nice spread of color across the pages, and I was really happy with that. So I just decided that that was enough. Sometimes I need to do that. And because I do embellish quite a bit, oftentimes it is kind of nice to do a layout where I don't have a crazy ton of embellishing here. All right, so I'm really liking the way that looks. The other thing on this layout, I'm not going to have a lot of journaling on it because really, in this particular case, there is a layout, that the one from last week, where I talk more and I tell more of the story behind the graduation and how proud I am of my nephew. In this particular case, I just felt like I needed to just get names down of who was there, so that someday if people looked back on this, they would be able to figure out who all those people were who were at this layout. Because eventually things like this, where they're photographs of my nephew's story, I will give to my nephew and my niece, his wife. Now, the one thing I did want to do is I wanted to get a little bit more dimension in the layout. I do have it in the family word, but it felt like that was kind of out there on its own, that there wasn't a lot of other dimension. So I grabbed my aqua enamel dots from Doodlebug. They're called Sprinkles, and this is the swimming pool color. And I'm just going to put one on each die cut or cut apart to just spread those around the page as well. And then nicely what ends up happening is there ends up being 5 on the page. So I'm using an uneven number there, which is a design principle that helps our heads absorb design messages, I guess would be the best way to describe that. All right. So I'm looking at this and really liking how it looks. The layout is done. There'll be a still shot and a couple of detail shots at the end. Hope you are all well, and I will see you again with another layout soon. Bye!